Going to the swatches I made and looking at my grays. Now, I am looking at these because I actually want to do that chain that was hanging down. So I can go every other gray, but I don't want to skip like from this all the way to this. That's too big of a jump. So I'm going to pull 564, if I can find it. I really need to get all my grays back in order. It's 564. Then I'm going to skip and go to my 566. And then I'm going to skip and go to 561. All right, so that'll be my grays for the chain. All right. Yeah, these are my swatches. I have them for every brand of pencil, washi tape, markers, ink pads. I love them. I do sell them just blank with a screw on. The screws don't come apart as easily as these do. So I've started using screw plastic coated metal that works really well. So those are on my Etsy. When you do pencils, hold the pencil in your in your not dominant hand, the sharpener in your dominant hand, turn the sharpener. Now I'm leaning across the table, so I'm going to have to pull this to me to do it. But it's just a whole lot better on your pencil. Do the other two. I just want to make sure we're ready. And I can do this ahead of time, but I want you to see how it really does take time to do a page. So if you're like, oh, I see somebody posting a page every day. Okay, is their page as detailed as yours? Is their page look as nice? I mean, we're not here to compare, but I'm just telling you, sometimes it takes a little longer. Okay, so now I am going to move on to her scarf. Like I said in the last one, we are going to move ahead here. If you've not been following the first one, this is Hansel and Gretel. Fabiana does an awesome job in the fairy tale series books. I believe there's going to be 9 out by the end of this year. If you've not already ordered them, you may want to go ahead and start looking at doing that because they are running out fast. One of my pre-orders on Amazon was actually canceled, and found that I could get it at the book depository. One of them had to get 2 of them from Germany, and then got one. It popped up on Amazon again somewhere else. The darkest shade of your 4 colors, $5.59 for me. So if you I ended up getting one from Germany. You can go into Google, do a search, and it will tell you this is where it's folded. Okay, it's folded up over the top. So it's going to be darker under that fold. So if you go into the site, you can Google, and it will tell you how to do the translating of funds, what euros are to dollars and such. So do that. And then the other thing that you can do too is there's a little ball or globe looking thing up at the top of the screen. And when you're looking at that, you can change it to English. Just change it from, I think it's on DE or something like that when you first go in. Change it over to, it's not even US. I'm trying to remember what it is. But anyway, just play with that a little bit and it'll put it in English for you. But yeah, by the time I did shipping fees and the fund translations, it was still only, I want to say it was close to $30 for 2 books. And considering I was able to get them in English, so check that too on the write-up of the books. I was able to get it in English where I couldn't do that here, I was very pleased. Okay, the light's going to shine here. Remember we talked about the hair, the light comes down, but you're still going to have these folds. So still go ahead and get in there where these folds are. So you color behind a fold to make it look like it's wrapped over. Okay, I know this is underneath because this comes around on top. So I know this is another fold. That's how you tell where your fold is, okay? It's how it wraps around. And if you don't just naturally see that, then you may need to look at your own clothing and see how it wraps. Now see, I did a hard touch here, nice and firm, but then I did much lighter here. Think of stroking a little newborn kitty. Think about a baby's face, how gentle you would be. That's your coloring. Okay, so my sleeve. Can I get under here? Yeah. See how this curves around? And the shadow is right here. Okay? That's what you're looking at here. You're looking at the curve around. All right, so that was number 559. Now I'm going another lighter shade. This time I pulled 4 pencils. I'm not sure if we'll use all 4, but I've got them pulled. This is 511. And I'm coming up just a little bit more, overlapping into that first color, getting lighter touch as I come up. Remember I said I was not going to go the traditional orange or yellow ochre. I was going to do lighter. Okay, so that's what I'm doing here. And that actually goes all the way because that's another fold. And then I can get lighter. I can actually blend into this one over here and let those two go together and then get lighter as I come out. It's got to come out somewhere. You can't just abruptly stop. Okay, same thing here. I'm going to be coming out of that, getting lighter. You cannot jump 3 or 4 colors and expect a really good blend. You've got to let it come out some. Just lighter touch. Can you hear how I'm barely scraping the paper? It's just barely touching. And then I get lighter. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Overlap. And then get lighter. It is a retraining of your hand to get lighter if you're heavy-handed like I am, but it can be done, obviously, because I'm doing it. Also holding your pencil even further back as long as you have that control over the pencil. Okay, now I got a little dark right there, so I'm just going to even that out and then get lighter as I come in. If you get a spot where you're a little dark, just even it out, get lighter as you come in. I've got to come in some on my pencil so I have a little bit more control. Just a light touch on the paper. Just tell yourself over and over, lighter, 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 lighter. You can do it. Okay, now I'm going to go to my next lighter shade, which is 515. I'm going to overlap what I did before, and because I got lighter, that's what makes it blend. And then I'm going to get lighter as I come out. Okay, go over this, lighter as I come out. Go over this, lighter as I come out. Lighter as I come out. I'm not out yet. Now I'm out, and I'm going to just go ahead and blend that in. Coming up. See how she's going from a red scarf to a more pinky scarf? Lighter as I come out, slowing down so I can really go lighter. Now my next color is more of a pink, so I am going to go ahead and just go over all this because I want that pink to have a little bit of red in it. I will go over the top of my red and blend. And do you see how right there, there's a little circle that's just a little bit darker? Do you see that? So what I'm going to do is come in here and just make sure this is a little bit darker. There we go. And incorporate it in. Then getting lighter as I come up. Okay? Same thing here. Bring that down. Blend all these shades. Getting lighter as I come up. Darker here. Get all the way up to that black line. Lighter as I come up. And come back over to this side, darker. Lighter as I come around. And the shine has moved. Do you see how we said it was going to be on the top of her head? But because there's so many folds, it's kind of moved to the side. I'm still okay with that. I'm not so much of a stickler on where the light's going to hit, that I can't just leave this. Because the blending to me is good, I'm fine with that. Now I'm going to go to my lightest color. All right, this is before. Okay. Now the other thing I just noticed, we missed their eyebrows. So we will just come back with any of the browns that we used and put those in a bit. Now I'm going to go circles so that I can really blend this. And I'm going to stand up a little bit more. I've been laying my hand down more so that you can see actually what the pencil is doing. But I really want to get in here and get that point of the pencil down into the grain of the paper. So that's why I've decided to go ahead and stand that pencil up a bit. I think you can still see what I'm doing. This is video 2 for you that are tuning in and missed video 1. You might want to go back and grab that. This is showing more of how to do fabric. And I'm just blending all over. There, now that's after. So it's got lights and darks, and that's what I was after. Okay, now I pulled these grays, so I'm going to be light to dark on these. We're not going to do all of the chains on camera. We will do some of them to where you know what you're doing. Now, the artist has really helped in doing these dark little dots and lines here. That's where your darkest color goes. So I have pulled, this is Marco Raffine's 561, 566, 564, and I'm looking over at my conversion chart here, and let's see, the Raffines. These do not really translate, but if you look at your conversion chart, if you've bought this, you can use your polychromo and your premieres. Look at your cool grays, even your Renoirs. They all do convert. So that's what I would use, is those cool grays. And you can look on your own chart if you've purchased that off my Etsy. So I'm going to come in with my darkest first. And here, and coming down, here, and going up. Okay, dark, and then going up, dark, and coming down. Dark, coming down, dark, going up. I am going to go ahead and do a few of these. Now see how that one went a bit wild? Yeah, I need to slow down. Every time you erase, you take just a little bit of the tooth out of the paper. So you don't want to erase a bunch, but if you mess up, please erase. Don't just go on. Because like you saw in the cheeks on the first one, the first video, where I had really messed up, the first time I did that, I went on. I totally did not show you that video. It was Hansel's face, and that's why I experimented with his and then showed you the erasing on her face with the cheeks. And again, if you missed that, you might want to go back and pick it up. All right, so you can't see this just a whole lot. I'm not going real heavy. There's a reason for that, and I'm going to show you at the end where we're going to come back in and put some of the darks in darker. And if I get it too dark to start with, it'll be hard to blend it. Okay? Now, also, the top is going to be lighter because the light is hitting it here. It's just barely overcast from this top one. So we're going to do just a little bit here. And then we'll do more down here because it's on the bottom. We actually could have gone a little more on the bottom of each of these because they are on the bottom. You're right. And we will do more of that after we get all the other shading in. Remember how I talked about the ticking that you can do where you down and then pull up? It's almost just as easy to do that on these. Just because they're going the right direction for me, they're straight. Okay, or you can do your circles or straight lines, whatever works for you that allows you to blend. Okay, this is teaching blending here. Use any colors you want. If you're not into blending, I'm not sure why you're watching. But anyway, if you're happy with it, that's what matters. There are no coloring police. And anybody that tells you that it doesn't look good, then you need to maybe not be part of that group, because that's no fun. Oops, we need to do the bottom of this one and these. The bottom there, and just a little bit here, and here coming up. Okay, and I don't want to run out of time. I'm at 17 minutes. So now my middle shade, which is the 566, I come down just a little bit more, up just a little bit more, down a little more, up a little more. Okay, see, you can get a rhythm going here. Just leave a little bit in the middle for that last shade to go in. Now, if you need to slow down a little, you slow down a little. If you're actually coloring with me, same thing here. Nothing says you can't pause the video